Alright, the other thing I wanted to watch was Jimquisition, Overwatch 2, Blizzard's latest Travesty. We haven't watched the Jimquisition in a while, so this one seemed perfect to come back to. Oh, you seen this? Oh, no spoilers, no spoilers, no spoilers. I gotta watch it. I've been wanting to watch it.
What is this place? You know, a lot of people are giving Chris Pratt shit for saying that he practiced his Mario voice for ages
Blizzard
and he
bad.
was really
Spoilers.
proud of it. But cut him some slack. It'd take me months of practice to sound like Chris Pratt as well. Fair play to the man.
I love the Jimquisition.
You alright? I'm Tracer's ass now. Have fun animating that one, Justin! I remember a time when updating a game to show less of a video game character's ass was about the only time Blizzard could earn a modicum of criticism from the hardcore gamer set.
God,
well,
those were the fucking days, weren't they? When our biggest complaint about Blizzard or Overwatch in general was when they took out the asses from some of the characters. Just let them have booty. All of them. Give Tracer his booty back. Give Reaper his booty back. Give them all booties. Make them jiggle. You totally missed the original Buttgate.
Times have changed. Well. 2016 was a long time ago. I mean, I had a lot less hair back then. Thanks, HRT. And in the years since the release of the original Overwatch, Blizzard has done an impressive job of utterly tanking its credibility, cashing it in, well, quite literally for cash. Of course, some of us saw Activision Blizzard for what it really was back in the day, and we tried to warn you. I tried to warn you, and not everybody wanted to listen, did they? Well,
that's very true.
They're listening now.
Like,
listening to this channel now.
The Jimquisition show in general was like literally had swarms of people unsubbing and just throwing hate their way whenever they mentioned even one negative thing about any game company, really, but especially Blizzard back in those days.
Obviously. Thanks again, HRT. I just want it known as a matter of record that I called it, that the point I made of calling them Activision Blizzard as far back as 2016 was justified. Now do please enjoy the following video while I continue nursing a sore throat, blocked sinuses, and the fact that I was kicked incredibly hard in the lumbar during a wrestling match I had last night. Fucking ow. Activision Blizzard can
I
go
love that they have a
itself
wrestling
into
career
a
as
hole of
well.
Shit. Forever. If I've not made my stance on this fuck pit of a corporation clear enough over years of tearing apart its business decisions, insulting its leadership, documenting its unethical profiteering and tax dodging, and expressing horribly its
Billions on
abusive
taxes.
working conditions,
Billions.
allow me to reiterate. I'm not particularly fond. I've not played a game published by Activision Blizzard since 2020 now, and I will not do so for at least as long as Bobby Kotick remains a part of that company. Until he's ousted, there's no chance of beginning to believe that the abuse, discrimination, and corruption he happily oversaw and took part in will ever improve, despite any bullshit propaganda spewed by himself or the fellow executives who circled the wagons to protect him when the extent of Activision Blizzard's cruelty first made headlines. All this is to say that while everyone else has been playing Overwatch 2, I took the opportunity to finally do something I've been putting off since the mid-2000s, and finally played more than an hour of Condemned Criminal Origins.
Good game. I recommend it.
I beat it, in fact. Round of applause.
That's actually a really good game and underrated. I would pay for a remake of that game. Sony, PlayStation. Trying to remake shit that don't need to be remade these days. Someone remake the good shit. The old games.
For me. And holy fuck, that's a game in which you just murder dozens upon dozens of drug addicts without any question, huh? Like, they're literally called addicts, and that's presented as justification enough for stoving their fucking skulls in with.
To be fair, the drug addicts are actually... It's a whole thing. There's a supernatural element to it, to where it's made like the homeless and the addicts and stuff, and basically everybody act a little more crazy than usual, like a lot darker. To be fair, there's supernatural elements to it. It's fucked up.
With a shovel and getting your choice of 4 brutal finishers when they're battered down to their underprivileged knees. But anyway, while I could spend all day talking about how Condemned is an interesting case study in the shifting values of popular culture and the media that both informs and is informed by it, for the purposes of today, I'd like to say that I had a far better time problematically violencing my way through Condemned than I would have done playing Overwatch 2. A game I'd find far more problematic to engage with.
Although, to be fair, I don't know if they ever make it clear if they're actually addicts or just like people that have been infected by this supernatural element. Like maybe some of them were addicts because, you know, easy prey for dark supernatural thoughts, you know, like homeless, addicts, people down on their luck, people with already bad thoughts, like evil, truly evil thoughts as well. It's like it someone needs to do like a deep dive into that. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, they need to revive that series. Because there's, like, so much unsaid. There's a sequel to it as well, where the main protagonist you play in the first one, where you're beating the ass at all these so-called crazy addicts, where you actually turn into, like, a crazy homeless dude. You start seeing shit. It's fucked up.
Considering the monsters who run the company behind it. Nevertheless, while Overwatch 2 is unsurprisingly doing big numbers and making money the way all Blizzard games make money now, through aggressive, disgusting monetization, it's definitely not released to the same...
Did that say channeling Halos? Because, hold on, did that say channeling...
money now, through aggressive,
channels Halo Infinite was switched to worse after... Oh, God. Okay, Halo Infinite is doing shit right now. Like, I haven't played the campaign. I plan to. A lot of people... Campaign's a mixed bag. Most of it's good, but some of it's like, eh. But the multiplayer for Halo Infinite is in the gutter right now. Like, that's why it's tanking and failing right now. Is because of what they're doing with the monetization and the battle pass or whatever you want to call it. Why did they make Kiriko just film Ganiba with Foxes? I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking up there. I haven't even downloaded Overwatch 2. I have no urge to play it right now. Maybe in the future after severe updates and some shit, but... Or if you guys, like, get the urge to play it. I have no urge to play it right now.
Disgusting monetization, it's definitely not released to the same glowing acclaim and uncritical love that the first one did. And as someone who did love the original Overwatch but got a lot of shit from the gaming community for daring to question its popularization of predatory loot boxes, I have to say that watching Blizzard burn all of its goodwill in the years between then and now, to the point that Overwatch 2 is mired in controversy and outrage, lights the tiniest ember of warmth in my bitter, resentful heart. If you've been tracking Blizzard's trajectory history as long as I have, Overwatch's descent into the excesses of freemium slog come as precisely zero surprise. Overwatch 2 is free to play, and very much like Blizzard's last monument to shameless fucking greed, Diablo Immortal, it's an absolute fucking grind fest as a result.
The only time I had fun in Diablo Immortal was
very
basically
boxes
making my character man tatas.
Blight, it's still utterly laden with microtransactions and obligatory battle pass shenanigans. Progress is excruciatingly slow, and the grinding required to unlock things without spending real money are beyond exorbitant. According to one fan's calculations, unlocking a single character's cosmetics without buying the premium currency would take around 5 fucking years. You need to spend 260 weeks pummeling the game's weekly challenges for a reward of 60 coins apiece to unlock the 15,600 coins required to get all the gear for the player's example character, Kiriko. And I am shocked by how I'm not shocked at any of this.
I know loot boxes are bad. I know they are. But honestly, this is so much worse, it's not even funny. Can we go back to the lesser evil? Or not lesser, but I don't know how to describe it, but give us an upfront price, like for the Overwatch 1. We will pay once, and then if we want cosmetics and shit, do it like Overwatch 1. Try to improve on Overwatch 1 instead of this garbage.
Anymore. It's just not a surprise anymore that a game expects you to grind for 5 years to unlock something. Or
it's sadly not surprising anymore.
Expects you to cave in the 5 years between now and then. With its Fortnite-esque rotating store, shitty fucking battle pass that you can naturally pay to skip levels in, limited time items, bundling of items, mobile-style transactions that reach as high as $99.99 per purchase, Overwatch 2 is really only missing those loot boxes to be a who's who of despicably manipulative freemium tactics. On top of that, it's got its own suite of controversies that have further soured the game's reputation.
It's so fucking sad.
Brand new Overwatch 2 accounts will have to grind to unlock original characters from the first game as part of a contrived onboarding process has pissed off plenty of people. But even more infuriating was the revelation that Overwatch 2 required SMS text verification to even play, a plan that had to be stepped back from after a massive amount of quite justified
being punished for being poor. That's what I said when I found out about this.
Implementation. In order to access Overwatch 2 at all, players were expected to provide a mobile number for text verification, similar to many methods of two-factor authentication found
I don't even know if it would have
justified this as a necessary step in combating
disruptive behavior
and to stop users evading bans.
Mine's a
However,
pre-planned, so
it essentially locked out anybody without ready access to a mobile phone, which, while that might not be a huge amount of people these days, is still some people, and I think they deserve to play a fucking game whether they have a phone or not. Or maybe Blizzard's just being a little on the nose about how much like a mobile game all of its fucking output is now. Even worse was that prepaid phones were excluded from the verification process.
Some people haven't even got all their old shit even when it worked. Oh, I think I saw something about it.
Overwatch 2 was not going to let you in. You needed a contract on your phone, or Overwatch 2 would treat you like someone who'd basically just dodged bans with a quick SIM card pulled from the newsagents round the corner. And while there's a case to be made that a ban evader...
Like, I saw some, I think it might have been on Twitter, like, just a passing comment on how, they started a game, they got into a match, but they only had 3 characters unlocked when they had, like, the whole roster, I think, or at least the first Overwatch roster, and maybe a couple of the new stuff. It was like they only had 3 characters available on their screen. Oh, Blizzard.
Could go to that effort. It's hardly justification for the fact that prepaid phones are very commonly used by people who aren't exactly flush with cash, and that Overwatch 2 was basically discriminating against poor people in its paranoid bid to outthink disruptive users. I mean, considering how poorly Activision Blizzard pays some of its own fucking employees, to the point where some can't even afford the staff cafeteria, you'd think they'd have seen that one coming. Or maybe they just didn't fucking care. Oh right, it's that one, they just didn't fucking care. In any case, Blizzard had to pivot on this one after fan outcry because it was fucking bullshit. While not scrapping the idea entirely, it's been altered so that existing Battle.net users who have played Overwatch previously will no longer need a number, so at the very least older players aren't being locked out. Nonetheless,
You have to have bought before a certain area for everything locked in out. Yeah, that's the thing. The person was saying was like, they had everything unlocked from Overwatch 1 before this, and like I think that they had played a couple of games in Overwatch 2 already, but apparently that one game glitched so hard or something happened to where they only had 3 characters available after that. So shit like that's happening now. Like, even if you have stuff unlocked, you could go into a game and all of a sudden you have 3 characters and that's it.
Fucking clueless misstep. Overwatch 2 is naturally being review bombed to fucking back on places
Look at the difference. Look at the difference. Come on, guys. Critics, come on. Come on. It's just a joke now. It's just a sad, sad joke. Come on, critics.
Metacritic, where the user score currently sits at a whopping 1.3 out of 10. And when I compare all of this to the heady days of 2016, where I was told to stop criticizing Overwatch because it wasn't that bad, because I was making mountains out of molehills, catastrophizing, because while Activision is bad, Blizzard is still its own company and doesn't deserve to be associated with them, all I can do is laugh. Ha. Ha. Huh. I guess I'm such a joyless fucking husk I can't even do that now. I was right. Back when I blamed Overwatch for doing for loot boxes what Resident Evil did for survival horror, I was told off by huge amounts of gamers. There was a concerted push in some parts of the community to rebrand loot boxes as Wilson boxes, so named after EA CEO Andrew Wilson. The idea was to predominantly associate them with FIFA. No doubt a huge part of why loot boxes became so successful, but FIFA did not have the impact on their wider adoption that Overwatch did. Whenever I pointed this out, however, I was told that Blizzard was effectively blameless,
now, isn't it,
and that my very
Phoenix?
deliberate insistence on calling it Activision Blizzard was unfair to a great and honourable studio. Fast forward to 2022, a year that gave us the disgusting Diablo Immortal, and a game that has liberally torched the goodwill of its predecessor in Overwatch 2. Blizzard and Activision have become indistinguishable because they were always the fucking same. They have a shared leadership that got taken to court because they abused and mistreated their workers that fucking badly. Games that come from any studio under Activision's corporate umbrella are overly monetized exercises in wanton predation and exploitation of vulnerable players. And once again, Stephanie Sterling, the Cassandra of video games, was proven right as the rest of the world caught up to the facts and realized that no, Blizzard is not an untouched angel whose purity remained in spite of Activision's acquisition.
Ew.
It is Activision. It is Activision Blizzard. By the way, Activision Blizzard withheld raises from the QA testers at Raven Software, who successfully campaigned to form a union this year. Did you know that? Fucking cunt. God, my throat is sore. It is a miracle I've still got a voice. If any of you have seen me do my whole wrestling shit, like, you'll know I do this, like, big, long, shouty promo, like a ring introduction that I do before every match I have, and I was already nursing a sore throat, and I went and did it with Warhorse. It was actually really cool and fun, but, oh god, it feels like I've swallowed a whole bunch of those Kaplunk sticks. Do you remember Kaplunk? Thank God I'm on a bit of a break now before my next match on November 4th in Leeds.
Nice.
And of course, thank God for me. We can't forget that bit now, can
Thank
we?
God.
And thank you to everyone in 2016 who didn't give me shit and told me I was making mountains out of molehills and told me that Blizzard could do no fucking wrong. And of course, thank you to all of the lovely Patreons at patreon.com/jimquisition for allowing me to make it my job to be incredibly fucking right about everything all of the time. And that's about all the time we have for now. I mean, technically it's not, because YouTube videos can be any length, really, can't they? But I'm not one of them ones that do 3-hour-long videos, because I've got other shit to do. Like watch 3-hour-long video breakdowns of Deus Ex Human Revolution. Shit, I don't really have a life, do I? Bye!
That was good, even if it wasn't giving good news. Although I already knew, like, majority of it, it's... oh, God. Oh my god. That gets me every time. That little RIP Stadia. Oh yeah, fucking Blizzard, I swear. Activision Blizzard are just fuck up after fuck up. Like, what happened? They reached a high on Overwatch 1. Yeah, it had problems. Yeah, loot boxes are a problem in general. But instead of improving on a successful game, they decided to just ride downhill. Full speed. Like, I honestly don't understand their logic because it is illogical.